Welcome to this month's installment of Competitive Wrap-Up, in which an entire top 3 of a regional is solely Time Leap. Hello and welcome everyone to this Competitive Wrap-Up, and today we're going to be looking at the results from both October and November. It's already pretty much the end of November, but it's not too late to look at all the results that we had so far. As always, I'm not going to be taking a look at the results that happened over this or last weekend because they're not on the official Bushiroad websites yet. So the Continentals in America and Europe both concluded, but they're not on websites, so they're going to be basically delayed until next month. But regardless, even without those, we have a lot to go over today, so let's get right into it. We'll be opening up with Japan as always, and the first one of which is a very peculiar tournament, and this is the Aichi VGCS, which included teams of 5 members. So we have essentially the top 3 places, so that's a total of 15 deck lists to go through, so let's try to go through them in as little time as possible. First off, the first member of the winning team ran this basically freeze ray chaos list with a little bit of Messiah stuff in it. The second player on that team ran the grade 1 7 Seas deck. The third place on that team ran a Sanction Guard deck, and with a lot of Love Life Sunshine stuff all over it as well. The fourth person on that first place team ran Time Leap, big surprise, but they did have the 3 Serpents, which are the 10k vanilla Zodiac Time Beast, so that is interesting to see that people are incorporating those. And finally, this picture isn't as great because it was taken from a different, basically, point of view, but this is the 5th member of that team, and he ran a Diablo list, but this was before the release of GBT09 in Japan, so it's basically the old stuff. Now, going over the second place team, the first player of the second place team ran a Time Leap deck, and we have some snack there on the top. And then in the second player of that second place team ran the very well-known Fenrir Wiseman deck. The third player of the second place team ran just Night Rose, and you'll see throughout these tournaments that we're going to go through in the Japanese results that Night Rose has become a lot more popular than before. The next player of this team ran a Sanction Guard list, and you can see that like on the Old Miles and the St. Blows, there's still the price tag on the cards, so that's a pretty interesting choice of a sleeve. And the 5th player of the second place team ran Chaos Messiah. And finally, the third place, the first player of the third place team ran the usual Fenrir Wiseman list. The second player of the third place team ran a Diablo list with Vortimers instead of Despres. The third player of the third place team ran another Night Rose list, and this list that you're seeing now is becoming kind of a staple. The Pokur is kind of questionable, but I've seen this list going on and on and on, and they also have a very nice Nia signed card there. My good and Lagan love cannot ignore that. And then the 4th player of the third place team ran this Star Vader list with the Legion, so that's quite an interesting addition, but it's very nice to see. And the final 5th player of the third place team ran this Time Leap list, and it is post the character booster, but there are no gear groovies because most of the community has agreed that the card is not that good yet, but it will get better in the future. Next up, moving on, we have the RIZING VGCS, and the winner of this one was a Time Leap list, and you can see that there's quite a few Zodiac Time Beasts in it, and there's 4 Delayed Blazers, which is actually quite interesting. In general, like, I know that it's getting really repetitive to keep seeing Time Leap everywhere, but some of these lists are getting a bit more innovative, so for example, this one I actually like quite a bit. Next up, we have this Freeze Ray Messiah list, so it's a bit hard to see because of the kind of the glare on some of the cards, but I'm sure most of you will be able to read it out. And they ran all 4 G-Guardians that they have are the Link Joker ones, which I actually like. I'm surprised, but then again, good job. So that's the second place of the RIZING VGCS. And then in the third place of the RIZING VGCS, we have Time Leap once again, big surprise. And finally, the 4th place of the RIZING VGCS is yet another Night Rose list. So, as I said before, these are getting a lot more popular. Next up, we have the Nagoya VGCS, which was not that long ago, I believe. The first place of the Nagoya VGCS was a Time Leap deck, big surprise. But once again, we see the 3 Serpents there again, so those are starting to become a bit of a kind of a trend in Japan, it seems. And then in second place we have Fenrir Wiseman. Again, big surprise, this deck is very popular in Japan as well. It didn't really do much in the West though, but I think a lot of us noticed that it didn't do too much in the West. And then in the third place is this Night Rose list, and you'll see by the little yokai watch thing on the bottom right that this is actually the marker that Gungnir uses. So I've mentioned this player many times, and he's pretty much one of the only players I actually look up to because he tops a lot and he's very consistent and he really commits to his decks, it seems. But the only thing that worries me about this picture that it seems his G-Zone is unsleeved. But anyway, moving on. The 4th place of the Nagoya VGCS is this Sanctuary Guard list, so very staple here. It's nothing too surprising, so that's about it for this one. And next up we have the 193 VGCS. In first place we have this Time Leap list. In second place we have this Time Leap list that runs Gear Groovies. In the third place we have this Time Leap list which does not run Gear Groovies but has a lot of SPs in it. And then in fourth place we have Night Rose to kind of freshen things up, thank God. And this is, I feel like I've seen this player before because I recognize the kind of token card they use. But yeah, so Night Rose, much more kind of refreshing to see than non-stop Time Leap. Moving on to Europe, and we're not going to talk about Worlds just yet, but there was a separate big tournament in France, which was the 3rd CRC, and it was called the CRC du Nord. And unfortunately we don't have a picture or a deck list of the first place, but the player was David Ferreira, who won with Fenrir Wiseman, and I will link in the description the final fight between him and the second place, who was Helene Bourree, who was playing Time Leap, but we do have her list. So here you'll see the picture isn't too great, but you can see her Time Leap list. So she came second, and then Fenrir Wiseman came first. But yeah, so we don't have a Fenrir Wiseman list, unfortunately, but you know, we're gonna have to make do with that. And then in third place was Dui Mohamed, and he came with the grade 1 7Cs, which we've been seeing a lot more, and you'll notice throughout this video as well, there's a lot more of them topping. And then in fourth place is Nordin Yun Si, who came fourth with Messiahs. So pretty staple Messiah list. We have some SPs in there as well, but yeah, so it's a freeze ray Messiah list, and generally very well done. And I wanted to make a couple of honorable mentions for this CRC as well, because it was run by my friend Jun, that some of you, well, the French community knows very well, and I feel bad that I couldn't show up there because I had some other things to take care of on that same weekend that it was taking place on. But the 5th place was my friend Yoav. You can see his beautiful face here, but he came 5th with his Tachikaze list, which a lot of people from outside of Europe are like, how is this topping all the time? So this is yet another big tournament where Tachikaze has topped. And then Vincent Gregoire was 6th in this CRC, and he also topped with Tachikaze. So Tachikaze is really prominent here in Europe, and especially in France it seems, because I can spoil Continentals a little bit, but Jun also took his Tachikaze to Continentals in, well, which were basically yesterday, or well, the 26th of November 2016 if you're watching this in the future, but he didn't do too well with it. But yeah, so there's another Tachikaze for you guys. And finally, Teddy Delevales, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be pronouncing like that, came 7th, so in top 8 with a Chronofang deck. And we haven't really seen this topping anywhere. Like, Mason from Science of Vanguard has been hyping this deck up a lot, but we haven't really seen it top, and it's really cool to see it top like this. So generally I'm a fan of the deck and it looks really nice. There's quite a few Time Leap cards in there as well, obviously, but yeah, so there we have Chronofang as well. And before we jump into the big group of results, which is Worlds, we're gonna jump onto North America and the ARG results. First off, we have ARG Charlotte, in which the first place was Josh Stallworth, who came first with Time Leap. In second place was Joshua Medina, who came second with Sanctuary Guard. In third place was Noah Thomas, who came third with Gurguit, which is really nice to see. We don't see that very often. And finally, in fourth place was Justin Leopard with Thing Blaster, so perhaps inspired by the German regional results, maybe not, we can never know. And the other ARG results that we have are ARG Atlanta. The first place winner was Johnathan Sebastian, who won with grade 1 7Cs. And unsurprisingly, the second place was Antonio Tutt with Messiah, so I can understand why he came second place considering the matchup. And then third place was Rayshonda Arthur with Time Leap, so also I guess either he had to fight the grade 1 7Cs, or the fourth place, who was Matthew Ann, who also came forth with Time Leap. So yeah, pretty nice to see grade 1 7Cs doing stuff, and Messiahs on their own have been doing a lot better in the West. We haven't really seen them do too much in Japan. I feel like it's mostly like, it's either Chaos Messiahs or sometimes Freeze Ray Messiahs, but it is very refreshing to see. And now let's get into Worlds, and we're going to start off with the one and only European result, which I did cover on the channel, so you can check out the coverage videos as well as the top 3 deck profiles, so you can see the explanations of the players behind the cards they played and why they played them and which amount they played them in. But the winner of the German regionals was Theo Mahuteaux, and he won with Thing Blaster, so you can go ahead and take a look at his deck on my channel. We've got the videos, the whole deck profile, the whole finals, the best of 3 that you can check out if you want, so make sure you check it out if you are interested. In second place was my good friend Liu Bo Chen, OG Chen himself, once again with Thing Blaster, and I'm gonna spoil the Continentals just a little bit, and he did come second yesterday in Continental, so he will be going to Japan representing Europe, so I am very excited for him. So big congratulations both for his German win and for the Worlds, for the Continentals win, well, second place win, and going to Worlds in Japan. So big warm wishes of good luck to him. He's a good friend of mine and I know that he can do well. In third place of the German regionals was another friend of mine, Johnathan Rogers, who came third with Overlord. His deck profile is also up on the channel, and sadly, as far as I know, he went 2-2 in Continentals yesterday, so slightly sad that he couldn't make it to top cut, but, you know, I'm still very happy that he made it to Continentals, and the deck he played and the way he explained it was very good, so if you're interested, make sure to check that out as well. I've been plugging my channel way too much. Next up, we have the Vancouver regional results, so we'll be jumping over to the Americas, well, North America as a region. So in Canada, in Vancouver, we had Josh McKenna come first with Overlord, so we had Overlord in third in Germany, and now in Vancouver he's first. And then in second place, we're carrying over that European legacy, and in second place we have Joshua Setzer, who came second with Gaia Tachikaze. So very nice. This seems like the deck list is pretty much inspired by our dear Jun, who came first in France, so basically congratulations to both of them. And then in third place was Sebastian Teh, or Tech, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but he came third with Time Leap. Next up we have the Chile regionals, and in first place is Fabio Proenca, or Proenca, and he came first with Time Leap, so that's very, you know, pretty expected, but congratulations. And then in second place is Franco Castro, and he came second with Chaos Messiah. So I've been talking about the deck for quite a bit, and it is obviously a very solid control deck, so congratulations to him. And in third place is Renato Tonin, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, who came third with Gurguit. So this is the second Gurguit win we see throughout this competitive wrap-up. So looking at his G-Zone, it's quite nice. He has the scissors, Ezel scissors, he has the Mithril Azel as well. So definitely there to, you know, to win the Link Joker matchup when it comes, so big congratulations to him. Moving on to the Mexico regionals, in first place we have Diego Guerrero, who won with Time Leap, so congratulations to them. In second place we have quite an interesting list by Angel Camacho, who won with Altmile Alfred, so this is the Seeker Alfred, and it's quite interesting to see. I never expected Alfred to top in this day and age, but big congrats. And in third place is Jesus Moya, who came third with Time Leap, so once again, congratulations. Next up, we have the biggest regionals in the whole world, I'm pretty sure. This went over 700 players, and it had to be split up into 2 blocks, just like New York. So in Block A, the winner was Steven Rodriguez with Great Nature, Shanoa with Tester, Fox. Big congrats for this one. I keep saying that, but I feel like each of these players is worthy of it, because this is a deck that, you know, it's kind of like a sleeper rogue deck essentially. People aren't really expecting it to win, but Great Nature has shown many times that it's pretty strong. In Brussels, there were 2 Great Natures in top 8, so I definitely would not write this deck off whatsoever. In second place of Group A in California was Nigel Hare with a standard 7Cs deck, so not grade 1 7Cs, just basic 7Cs. And in third place is the People's Champion Austin Summers with Chronojet and Chronofang in one deck. So this is a friend of mine who is actually the current world champion for Buddy Fight and a 2-time national champion for entire United States of America for Buddy Fight. This man is just, he destroys everything he goes to. He's topping Vanguard, he's topping Buddy Fight, nothing can stop him. So he's once again going to Worlds as the first place of America for Buddy Fight, so I'm really cheering for him. You know, he had to choose Buddy Fight over Vanguard, but this is his Vanguard top, and it's definitely nice to see both Chrono Jet and Chrono Fang in one deck. So once again, big congratulations to him, and good luck in Japan. And now for Block B of California Regionals. In first place we have Daniel Middlesworth, who won with Freeze Ray Messiahs. So we've seen this deck run around quite a bit. We've seen it. This looks quite similar to the one that topped in Brussels, but don't take my word on that because I don't remember these deck lists by heart, but it does look relatively similar. In second place, we have Anthony Hernandez, who topped with Thing Blaster, so I don't know if this was inspired by anything. I'm pretty sure these regionals actually came before the German ones, so maybe the German winners were inspired by this, or maybe everybody's just original in their own ways. I don't mean to insult anyone, but if you look at the grade 2 lineup, you can see there's like so many one-ofs. There's the one-of each Blaster Blade, even the SP, and then there's the one-of Blaster Blade Seeker in Legion Rare, and like all these one-ofs. It's pretty fun to look at, and it's kind of difficult for screen capping. And then in third place of the Block B California Regionals is Sergio Hernandez with Victor. So I'm quite happy to see this. Since I actually play the deck, I'm actually interested. He does play the 2 Bustard, which I'm not too big of a fan of Bustard anymore. I'd rather just play the Vic 10 and the Tri-Brute, and then have space for essentially 5 G-Guards and the Sabreeze. And he also plays the Muscle Shriek, which is pretty interesting, but I do prefer the Crystal Devil more. But generally, big congrats. So this deck is, again, people aren't really seeing it as a meta deck or as a deck that can compete, and a lot of people are showing them wrong by topping with it. So big congrats. We're almost done with the American results, but we do have the Illinois results to look at. In first place was Duncan Young, who won with Fenrir Wiseman. So I believe this was the first Fenrir Wiseman win in America, but I'm not too sure, but it does seem like that. So yeah, this deck is basically topping all over the world, but definitely not as much as it did in Japan, but it has topped a couple in America and also in Asia, but nothing in Europe, I believe, apart from the CRC. So in second place, we have Kevin Cho, who's, if you've been paying attention to competitive Vanguard, you've seen this name more than once. He's been to Japan, I believe, twice already, once for Vanguard, once for Buddy Fight, and I'm not sure how he did. I believe he went top 4 in the NA Continentals. Don't take my word on that, but I believe he did, so he'll be going to Japan for 3rd time, I believe. But yeah, so he won with a pretty basic Sanctuary Guard deck. Like, this deck is strong, everybody knows that, so it's not too big of a surprise. And then in third place is Timothy Emerson. I'm sure most of you know him as Tim Power Gamer, and he won with a grade 170s deck, and I believe this was the first grade 170s win in America and in general in the West. So you can look at the G-Zone, it's just 3 cards, the 2 grade 3s, the 8 grade 2s, and all these grade 1s. Like, this deck is topping a lot, and I really congratulate him for being able to top with it in NA as well. And now for the final American Regionals report, we have the Texas one. So in first place was Jarrod McClanahan, who won with Time Leap, and this was after the character booster. In second place we have Blake Maynor with Freeze Ray Messiah, so once again showing that the deck is very solid and powerful and can definitely top a big regional. And in third place is Thuan Nguyen. I never pronounced that surname correctly, but they top with Nociel Gavriel, and we haven't seen Angels win that much lately because they kind of fell off very hard, so I'm happy to see them topping again. And yeah, so big congrats and thank you for putting Angels back where, well, I would like to say where they belong. Moving on to the Asian results that are not in Japan, we're going to be first taking a look at the Jakarta Regionals in Indonesia. The winner was Dafa Muhammad Nofal, who won with Time Leap, and this is the set of results that I was referring to at the beginning of the video. So he won with Time Leap, and guess what? The second place, Aziz Rifat, also won with Time Leap. So what do you know? Time Leap once again, but there are some interesting cards, like there's the, like if you look at the grade 1s, there's the Atab in there, which is like, not everybody plays that, or the Etana, or the Emelana, like it's a bit more originality here and there. And then in third place of the Jakarta Regionals is, I really like that, if you look at the website, the only name that it says for this person is Jeff. This guy literally is just Jeff, so congratulations to whichever Indonesian Jeff it is that plays Time Leap. I'm pretty sure there's more than one of you, but congratulations to this very specific one. Moving on to the Philippines, we have an interesting Genesis winning with Winchester Size Revelation Regalia deck. So if you look at the grade 3s, we've got Fenrir's, we've got Savava, but there's a CEO Yggdrasil in there, and that's a very interesting take on Genesis in general because it's combining, well, essentially two archetypes, but the only real Regalia cards are Hesperus and Norn and Yggdrasil. So other than that, like, it's essentially just Fenrir but with a bit of splashed Regalias, but still very interesting deck, so big congratulations. In second place is Mark, Gerald, and Murillo, and he went second with Night Rose, so this is one of the very scarce wins for Night Rose in the West, and he does play the Mareed. And then in third place of the Philippine Regionals is Israel O. Mendoza with Prisms, which we don't see too much of, but it's very nice because they are a strong deck, but people are starting to kind of go away from the hype and move on to other decks, but some people are sticking to Prisms and showing people why they're so strong. Next up, we have the Singaporean Regionals, and these ones, I'm not sure how it went for the English version, but I've heard that the Japanese version kind of had some controversy with the judges going on. So anyway, moving on, we have the first place being Chow Yee Shean. I might be butchering these names, but he won with Time Leap, so big congratulations, and not so big surprise, sadly. In second place is Lim Pei Chong. Again, I'm sorry if I butcher that, but he came second with Overlord, and this one actually has the cross. We don't see the cross in a lot of Overlord lists. Mostly it's just the legend with the greats, so congratulations to you. And in third place we have a deck that also fell off very hard, piloted by Phua Jun Kai, which is Diablo. So Diablo really fell off, I feel, after GB206's release, and like it was prominent for like a month or so, and then it just kind of dropped. And like I mean, 70s was very strong as well, and it was released at the same time, but I feel Diablo is still strong, and it's not gonna get back too much after GBT09 because it didn't really get many tools, but maybe after GBT10 we'll see something. But yeah, Diablo is another strong deck that just doesn't really top anymore. And the second last piece of results is from Malaysia. So the winner here was Benjamin Russell Favor with Time Leap. So this was before the character booster, so you know the grade 3s and G-Zone are a bit different, so just keep that in mind. In second place was Wang Chir Hung with Sanctuary Guard. So this is pure Sanctuary Guard with the Blaster Blade, well, the Blaster Engine, so you know, the pretty standard list that we're used to. And in third place is Joshua Lee Yong Yik, who came third with a standard 7Cs list. So this once again is not grade 1 7Cs, but just the basic 7Cs. And the final piece of results for this entire wrap up is from Philippines in Cebu, or I think that's how you pronounce it. But the winner was Roy Patrick Sasal, or Casal, and he won with Freeze Ray Messiahs. So we can see the 4 G-Guards and 3 of the Demon Maxwell ones, so pretty interesting list. And then in second place we have Nazareth Francisco with grade 1 7C, so once again a top for this anti-meta deck. This is the deck that is here to punish Time Leap for topping so much, and it's definitely doing the job right. And finally, we're going to finish off with a little surprise. In third place we have Cesaro Daniel Victor M, who came third with pure Alt Mile. This is the purest form of Alt Mile you're going to see. It only has Alt Miles and Glennis. This is very surprising because I did not see Alt Mile on its own topping, especially not in a big regionals like this, but big congratulations to you for topping this regional with this deck. So that's pretty much it for this really big batch of information. So there was a lot of regional tops to go through and a lot of different tournaments, so thank you very much if you stayed tuned in. I'm going to try to get the next one out by around the end of December, so hopefully not to clash with any other videos I have planned, but it's probably going to have a lot less information than usual because it's going to be just 1 month worth of results. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy and stayed until the end to see all these wonderful lists and people topping. And let me know what you guys thought, if you're getting tired of any specific deck that just happens to be topping almost every single event, or if you're happy about some of these rather surprising tops as well. That's pretty much it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.